Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Walker, and before jumping back into any challenges, which admittedly the Cabby Sweets challenge has kind of bothered me. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with that, but we're going to do another Dark Katana run using the Shift robe. Now, the obvious choice for critical hit builds is usually the Awe robe. I like using Shift for that additional evade chance. You might not get as high of a critical hit chance bonus, but you also get a chance to completely evade attacks, which when you're doing when you're doing like melee focus with Dark Katana, it helps. It helps more than one would give it credit for, because every now and again a big attack will just be like, ah! And it'll just be lost to the ether, and it's beautiful. So the way I have my build set up, Severing Slash is a really good skill for critical hit builds, and I'll explain why in a little bit here. Inferno Cannon actually is pretty decent on both power and critical hit builds because it does multiple hits and big damage. And Seismic Entry for evasion. Well, for evasion and because, that does good damage. Let's see, is there anywhere I would choose to start over anywhere else? I'm going to give it a few shots, see if I can get the Living Courtyard early. There we go. That way I can just get him out of the way. And the run will be ended on the Wonder Twins. Very nice. So, what we have with Severing Slash is very much the epitome of... Thank you. It is very much the epitome of quick, weak strikes. Because every one of those is a strike in and of its own. So when you're wielding the Dark Katana, what you're looking at is that each one of those 3 strikes is a chance to be a critical hit in and of itself. And oh, hello, fairy. I'm interested, but give me a minute to see what's available elsewhere first and to build up a little bit more capital. So what you have is a basic that's actually pretty underwhelming normally. But when you're doing a critical hit focus, it actually can become quite powerful. Oh, you sucker. But that having been said, it's one of those basics that's really only good if you're doing a critical hit focus. As you can see, it's not exactly lighting anyone's world on fire as is. Greater critical chance and evade chance. So, I mean, I hate to say it, but that's a little bit more valuable than the fairy. And in fact, we might as well just do this now. And then remember, the Dark Katana actually triples all critical hit chances, so at 9 becomes 27 when using a melee skill, which is, I don't need to tell you, but pretty damn nice. Pardon me. I also like the idea that Seismic Entry is just it's a very aptly named skill because it's just a great way to enter a fight. Alright, so amongst the things that we're looking for in this build, we want to hopefully find... Obviously, Crimson Clover would be a big one. That would be probably the biggest improvement to my damage we could get for the entire run. But, I mean, other than that, just, you know, upgrades. Assassin's Blade would be another big one. Oh, this is rare. Iris actually helping me? What world am I living in? So that is going to add a lot of range to that final strike, be it the charged version or the regular version. That, of course, means that I have a lot more leeway with how I use that attack. Okay. I mean, a little bit of protection isn't going to hurt anybody, right? Alright, and I still have the money to afford the ferry. Which, if I'm being just clearly just objective about that, I should really save my money for the next floor. Beautiful. Because what we're now really looking for is just means by which to further improve the run. We're looking for a good 5th or 6th Arcana that works well with the criteria, or is an enabler like Spark Array. We're looking for relics that will further boost either damage or the critical hit effects. There's all sorts of things that we're looking for, but I know myself. I would never forgive myself if I didn't rescue the fairy from the clutches of that horrible vendor, who likely only took the fairy because someone just said, "Oh yeah, no, this is just a bottle of dreams." Then he opened the bottle and it's like, "That was a fairy, you asshole." Why did I even believe bottle of dreams? You can't bottle dreams. Sir, I beg to differ. It's called ambient. Well, blow me down. Come on. Oh, it's a long stretch to go without finding anything. And I think that might be one of the lesser used tokens. Which doesn't mean that I'm just going to automatically pick it up. I'm not sure if I have those. It's Token of Triumph. Oh, it's Taffy the Pinata. Alright. I thought that was the one that summoned Doki the Banker. Oh, I'm done. Alright, so Nocturne is up here, so if we get a particularly crappy spell, we can always just bring it to him and re-roll it. You can also just grab a cheap spell from Iris and bring it to him as well, so we have options. And speaking of Iris, what do we have here? Ooh, Shearing Chain. That is really good. Like, for a melee-based critical hit build, Shearing Chain is like... It's like the holy grail of spells. You definitely want that. So why did I not pick it up right away? Mostly because I want to make sure that I'm not completely missing out on a decent relic, because a good top-tier relic for a critical hit build will still trump Shearing Chain. That's why I didn't just immediately jump on that, like, oh, darn it, you shouldn't have. Now, he doesn't have anything like that, but if he did... Now, we also still have quite a bit of floor to explore, so buying Curse Eater's Mask could be a decent boon for me. Especially seeing as we are kind of very much looking for Nox in order to get the Crimson Clover. Which is one of the problems that I'm having with having Taffy the Pinata show up, is I don't really... I would much rather be finding Nox. Yay! That was one of the worst miscalculations I've ever made. Well, not ever, but as far as this game is concerned. But we're not talking about miscalculations made in the game of life. Because if that were the case, there'd be a lot more contenders. So I think, despite what I said, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this. Alright, so it took a little bit of a beating. That's okay, we'll make up for it. But I mean, that's been an issue for me with melee runs for a long time, is I tend to take a lot of bad damage. And of course, the reason for that is because you are putting yourself in harm's way to potentially deal greater damage. Now remember what I said yesterday, oh. Okay, well never mind what I said yesterday, because apparently I can't dodge that to save my life. But what I was going to say is that this is one of those times where instead of trying to get in sneaky blows because you can attack at range, you just want to dodge. But I ended up dodging myself right into a corner and just getting smashed in the belly over and over again. Can't always be in the face. Sometimes you just gotta hit a guy right in the solar plexus. Just watch all the wind that guy thought he owned just evaporate into space. Alright, oh, well that was... Yay, valuable. I guess whatever beef Iris had with me has since vanished, because now she's actually really trying to be helpful. I don't know what caused the change of heart, but let me not look a gift horse in the mouth. You ever wonder what exactly that idiom means? Like someone gives you a horse. What is the harm in looking it in the mouth? Like, don't you make sure it's a healthy horse? Like, you need to check his gum line, make sure he doesn't have anything. Make sure he doesn't have a bunch of gingivitis, you know? Not that I know what horse gingivitis would look like. I don't know, it's one of those idioms that I know what it's supposed to mean, but then I hear the phrase, and then I think about the phrase a little bit too much, as I tend to, and go, yeah, that doesn't make sense. What are you even talking about? Oh, thanks, guys. Made my job way easy. I wonder if that's supposed to be the whole point of that room. Is, oh hey, you made my job really easy there. Thanks. So I'm not finding anything that's really doing it for me here. So right now the question might be, why is Shearing Chain considered the holy grail of critical hit builds in my eyes? Very simply put, it's an advancing attack, it scores many hits, it has good knockback, it's got good range, easy to use, and the damage is not exactly subpar, which means it actually gets to be really good when you can critical hit with it. See what I mean about the range? Sometimes you can just scoop enemies into the attack without them getting to know what hit them. Like other spells that could be considered a holy grail for melee-based like Dark Katana critical hit builds would be like, see, Tectonic Drill is a good one. Crystalline Balestra is a really good one. Burn Cycle is also pretty tops. Ugh. Yeah, it is a very scary mini-boss just because all of his minions hit so hard. Alright, so I am going to come back and grab Hunter's Stiletto. Between Miss Poison Fairy and my Inferno Cannon causing burn, I think we've got something good going on there. So all this means, Drea, is that you simply have to do what you were designed to do. Or I guess in this case, born to do. Depending on which world we're looking at this from. Now, if I were smart, what I would have done there is just immediately tacked on the shearing chain and just knocked them into the abyss, but apparently my brain is working on a whole nother level. You mean that suboptimal level? That'd be the one. There we go. And so long as we're on the topic of the game I'm currently playing, I was also just recently informed by a long time, I don't want to say subscriber isn't the right word, but I mean, I was made aware of all of this on Discord. I just don't know, I guess follower, just fellow game player on my Discord server. But the devs are working on some stuff for this game, which I'll just come right out and say it right now. I'm honestly surprised by that. Like, I was pretty sure that the devs at Contingent 99 would be wanting to work on another project by this point. But they are still... nothing here is good. They are still very dutifully working on updates to the game, which you can go to Twitter and check out their... Why am I going the long way? What purpose does this serve? To smash... Oh, I got like 1 coin. Yay. Why did I take the long way? But yeah, they're still dutifully making updates to the game, and if you go check out Contingent 99 on Twitter, you can check out some of the stuff they've been working on, and it makes some of the spells ridiculous. And of course, when it comes to balance patches, there are of course going to be things. Okay, so all right, let me finish what I was saying first, one step at a time here. When it comes to balance patches, there are of course going to be times where you go, no, I don't want you to do that. Like, you know, and when I say that, I mean like nerfs. Because everyone's got something that they really like abusing, which... Oh, another fairy. Which, of course, in the grand scheme of things, will likely get nerfed just because it's either too powerful or, you know, it's being abused by the community in some way. So, I don't know what all is getting nerfed, but I saw 2 things that were getting buffed, and that's Crashing Meteor and Blazing Volt. And, woo! Oh, those are looking swell. I have no complaints about how they're changing those. Okay, so Gale Force alignment is not what one would call a strong contender for a Dark Katana build, but here's the thing, it is what I would call an enabler. You know, Gary King and the enablers. And when I say enabler, what I mean is I can just lock you guys in place and just set up a nice little combo, and you can't do anything about it. I can also use it to block off an area and just set myself up super nicely. Like, there is no downside to having that Arcana that I can see it outside of, but it does less damage! Yeah, but it also enables more damage. Now, I know there's one of you in particular that gets really bothered when I ignore Tattered Scroll. I'm gonna ignore it again this time too, and the reason being is because I'm using a melee build. You know me in melee builds. We don't always get along. Like, I actually have a hard time getting through fights without taking hits when I'm using a melee build. That would just be a straight up downgrade, so no thanks. Like, I would be losing my signature charge constantly. And I haven't exactly found the cushion flip-flop, so I don't exactly have a combo with relics to work with here. Oh, that was a mistake. Yeah, when you're using a melee build, you have to be much more careful because the openings that the bosses give you aren't always going to be the best. And it's harder to sneak in damage when you're using melee. God damn it. Oh, that was dumb of me. Perfect. Alright, well, not perfect. I kind of got kicked around a little bit there. As much as I love Tracer Barrage, not taking it this time. Owie. That was my fault. I kind of jumped right into that. Okay, I'm pretty sure I got to you before you started firing, but... Daddy is not a fan of electric lancers. Oh, hello. Not turning down that freebie. It's always good to have a nice defensive relic. So as of time of recording, it is May 22nd, which means that my hype for the Monster Hunter digital event is getting greater. I can't wait to see what they're adding to Rise. I'm really having a lot of fun with that game. I also mentioned yesterday that I was looking for a way to revamp my hammer build. I found a way to do it, and yeah, it works out nicely. Oh my god, you little jumping bastards. I really am not a big fan of these little jumpy guys, because anytime they're moving, that's just an active hitbox. There we go. Excellent. Alright. Now I'm not out of the woods yet. I'm still very low on health. Ah, but we now have things here that can help me make up for that. Such as Vampy's eyeglasses. Ooh, that is... You're talking about the holy grail of critical hit builds. That's it, buddy. Wind, fire, earth. So I wouldn't be getting a huge payoff from the Captain's Ring. And then, of course, the other big thing is Pazu's favorite hat. But just having the... no, there's nothing here I want to pick up. No, just having that would be a huge get for me. but there's also very little chance I'll be able to build up 250 coins, and let's be fair, it wasn't exactly the major focus of things anyway. But I would say, if nothing else, the vampire's eyeglasses will help me stabilize. There we go. Whoa, definitely not, but I'm happy to have all that money. And that was a surprise, I wasn't expecting that, so now I might be able to afford it. That was really pointless, why did I do that? Also, I ignored the balloon because typically I'm just not a big fan of the brilliant balloon. But I'm gonna take it so that it improves the heavy travel jacket. So you can see with how often the vampire's eyeglasses are proccing, it's possible to keep your health up real high with this. Not that I need to explain that to any of you. And I've gone on record as saying that it's the vampire's eyeglasses. The vampire grows odd plants with eyeballs in his yard? What did I just say? Yeah, I've gone on record as saying that the vampire's eyeglasses can be seen as even a freaking crutch. Oops. That was a big oops. Thank you, fairies. Ring of Recycling, just in case I don't get to use that bonus, I can turn it into a shield. And when I say bonus, I mean signature. I have a brain somewhere in this skull, I swear. Maybe I should keep my brain sharp by doing like Sudoku puzzles or something. That is Blazing Blitz. I mean, that can work for a critical hit build, or a melee-based build, I should say. Avoided your surge anchor, you bastard. And that's a good thing to remember when using the seismic entry as your signature, is that it's basically seismic entry 3 times, so you can change the direction of the jump in between them. So you can either try to condense it into a small area, which honestly for that I would recommend trying to lure the enemy up against the wall to make that work. Owie. Sir, that is not very nice of you. Okay, so no Crimson Clover from Nox. Does he have anything else I want? No, not really. Sorry, what I really wanted to do there was jog my memory as to what some of those actually did. Not great. That's good for Hunter Stiletto, though it still won't do anything against Sura, which I'm upset about. Yeah, there's nothing here that's really all that good. Yeah, I wasn't sure what to do about that. If I teleported, I would fall. If I tried to use seismic entry, I would fall. I was caught between, well, not a rock and a hard place because there were no rocks. It was caught between, you know, bad decision and other bad decision. I know, I saw Iris over there, but I already started talking is not my strong suit today. And if I could just make up my own language, I could say, oh no, this is fluent Gabdanian. Yeah, that's a real word. What do we got here? I just picked up Blazing Blitz and already she's like, hey, you can upgrade that, you know. This is one of those times where she put aside her policy of just hating me to just be like, I'm going to be your friend now. Just don't get me wrong, I appreciate it. Being friendly is always a good thing. And that's just a good life motto in general is don't be a dick. Alright, so just in case there is a much better relic to pick up at the end. Oh god, here we go again. Well, all that health I built up is about to go away in a hurry. Yeah, sorry, not a fan of Crush Colossus. When it was first introduced, I was thinking, oh, okay, this guy seems kind of easy to deal with. No. No, that is the opposite of easy to deal with. He's a jerk. I figure having a good spread shot will help out against Sura's Null Flash agents. It's also just another really decent enabler. Yay, that didn't work. Still questioning why I like to use the shift robe? And you probably are, because you just look at that one time and go, well, it doesn't really justify using it over awe. And most times you'd be right, not gonna lie. But it doesn't mean that it wasn't a huge benefit there. And there. Like, this isn't necessarily me just trying to clap back at those of you who have said that you don't understand why I picked the shift robe. Let's be fair, the big reason to pick the shift robe over awe when doing melee-based critical hit builds is just to be different. But that having been said, you can't just downplay that chance to evade as if it means nothing. I only hit one of them with that. So what oh, there's Assassin's Blade. Alright, well that clearly takes priority over just about everything else. And I would also get the analytical monocle to go over probably the balloon, but I don't have enough money. So unless one of you guys feel like giving me a payday loan, yeah, I didn't think so, then we're just gonna have to move on. It's a shame I had to wait this long to get the Assassin's Blade. Wow, immediately with the Bell Flash 8, I'm saying, hey, you don't have any of those bouncing abilities. Oh, look what I can do. And yeah, he's going nuts with it. You know, like you do. Owie, 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 owie. Wrong way. So, even though I'm not great with melee arcana, I should explain. The reason why I like a good Dark Katana build is because they're very satisfying to pull off. To me, they might not be as reliable or consistent, at least not in my hands. But they're very satisfying to pull off. And spells like Inferno Cannon are just a lot of fun to hit with. And here we go. And this is where the difficulty ramps up. Owie! How dare you? But yeah, this build is fun, but not nearly as strong as yesterday's build. Owie, owie, owie. There you go. See, Galen, it's always, in my opinion, it's always worth it to diversify your arcana just a little bit. Having one thing that acts as an enabler and works almost entirely different to what you've been working with throughout the entire run can open up possibilities. Like, if you just have everything that's just straight powerful melee, like, yeah, in general use scenarios, it'll do just fine. But then you run into the scenario where it doesn't work fine, and you don't have any way out of that situation, and you just get hammered. Hammered. I'm gonna go play Monster Hunter Rise now. I'm working on other builds. Like, I have a really fun light bowgun build that I'm working on that once it's done, I would love to get a good clip of it in action. Get a really good kill with it and just show off a little bit. You know, things like that. I haven't gotten a lot of clips lately because most of my fights have been kind of... They haven't had really interesting things happen during them. Save for one where see, what was it that happened? At this point, I don't even remember. It was like 4 or 5 days ago. Give me a break. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you coming and spending some of your free time with me. Do me a favor, drop me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel, hit me up on social media, and I will catch you guys in the next one. My name is Dark Walker, and I will be seeing you